There we go. Okay, well, good morning, you guys. This is Carla, and I'm so excited to do this call today. I have to, just before, for those of you who just got on the call right now, I was just saying that I want to apologize for last week, and something happened. As soon as Mario stopped sharing, I closed the lines, but I guess I muted myself. So I want to apologize for that. It was not at all my intention, and I don't know what happened. But anyhow, I was talking my little heart out the entire time, and I actually started talking about last week about what I'm going to talk about this week. So I'm going to actually repeat everything. So things happen for a reason, though. I think this might be a better way to start this call series, and that is I have to tell you, a lot of things have been occurring in my life, personal and professional and all kinds of things. I think it happens to all of us, right? We go through these phases of our lives. Anyhow, and I've had this book for a really, really long time, and it actually took me about 2 years to finish reading it. And if I don't know if you guys, for those of you who don't know this, but I am really all about energy, and I love the whole concept of feng shui and how your mind and your body works along with your energy and the manifestation. I really do believe that we're very powerful beings, way beyond what you and I could possibly even imagine or fathom. And so when I got this book, Think and Grow Rich, which is probably, if not the most fundamental book you can read, it is something that I highly recommend every single person on this line to either buy the book, read, or get the Audible or something online, because honestly, hands down, it must be the most powerful handbook of how to manifest success. And I say success, when I say success, I mean everything. I don't mean just money. I mean your body, your relationships, anything that you want to manifest. This book really gives you the fundamentals of it. So what I thought we could do, okay, and I want to challenge you guys, and I'll open the lines at the end of the call, and that is, I'm actually doing this with my TAB team, and we are taking on the challenge of taking on this book and bringing into our lives the most fundamental principles that he has, and that is the principle of manifesting your desire. I'm going to be going through for the rest of the month. I'm going to be covering the 13 fundamental things of this book, but I wanted to really encourage each and every one of you guys to get your hands on this book and read it and study it. So let's go ahead and start the series of this book. And one of the things I'm going to ask for you guys to do, if you don't have a piece of paper and a pencil in front of you, go ahead and listen to this call again on the replay and really take some notes. And if you don't take notes on the call, make sure you grab the book, grab the Audible, and take notes when you're listening to this book. This book is not a book to casually listen to. It is actually a book meant for you to have a piece of paper and a pencil to type some highlighters if you're reading the book. Have a notebook if you're listening to the audio, and really take notes. The book is loaded with ideas and steps on how to really bring into fruition whatever it is that you want to desire. So let's go ahead and get started on the call series of Think and Grow Rich. The first concept of this book, and the reason why this book has been, has lasted the test of time. A lot of books come and go. A lot of books, are exciting and then people forget about them. This is honestly has to be one of the books that people just continue to recommend over and over again. And that is, the thing about this book is that it's all based on truth. It's all based on reality. And one of the things that, by the way, the author is Napoleon Hill. And one of the things that Napoleon Hill really stresses about and stresses throughout the book is the importance that anything that you want in life, anything that you want to manifest or bring into your life, whether it's money or whatever kind of success. I'm going to talk about money just for the purpose of simplicity, okay, because it's a measurable result. But if you really want to bring riches into your life, whatever you do must have the foundation of truth, must have the foundation of reality. And I thought this was so perfect because we've been talking a lot about this, right? One of the reasons why people suffer is because they're not in touch with reality. And I was actually talking about this last week when the call dropped, and that is that one of the, for example, of, if I open a door and if I actually enter into a room, I know the reality is I have entered another room. So if I am in a room and I want to get out, all I have to do is find the door, open it, and get out. because I really am in a room. Now, if I am, like right now I'm in a parking lot, okay, so if I'm here in the parking lot and I visualize and imagine and fantasize and make up that I am in a room and that I am stuck in this room with four walls, which, by the way, they don't exist, right, but it's in my imagination, and I'm trying to get out. But the thing is, I'm going to suffer, okay, just to say like a way of being, a state of mind or an emotion, is I'm going to suffer because I am not in touch with reality. I really am not in a room. I'm actually in a parking lot. But if I'm convinced, no, you don't understand, Mario, I am in a room and I'm stuck. I have these four walls and I can't find the door. Well, the reason why I can't find it is because it doesn't exist. Okay, now that's just a real silly example, but we do this all the time. We have these fears that are not real. We have we feel that something's going to happen, and most of the time, if not always, unless a lion is literally coming at you, it is all made up in our minds. So the first thing we have to establish in the foundation of this, which we've actually been talking a lot about on these calls, is that we must be in touch with reality. We must be in touch with the truth. And when you are actually in touch with reality and the truth, now you have access to having a fundamental experience of whatever it is that you want to create. Okay? So that's the thing. So if it's not based on truth, it will not be sustained. If it doesn't have the foundation of truth, of reality, it will not have longevity. It might start happening, but it will fall apart. And this is also right in alignment with having integrity. If you want to build something, and we're going to talk about the fundamentals of this, one of the things you must understand is that without integrity, nothing will sustain. If you don't have integrity in your business and have integrity in your life, now, look, I'm going to confess something. When I first started my business, I think this happens to all of us. We're so excited, and you just want to get things done. And I remember there was this lady, right, and she hadn't even taken the products. She hadn't even really known about the business. But I was so excited that she felt my excitement. And she was like, oh, my God, I totally want to go all in. I didn't even bother to ask her what was her health concerns, did she want to lose weight, gain weight, what she wanted to gain with her health. I didn't ask her any questions. I was like, okay, great. And she ordered all these products. See, and by the way, she's no longer in the business. Why? Because it wasn't built on integrity. It wasn't built on the foundation of truth. Because all that she did was go based on an emotion at that moment of excitement. So, I can't drill this enough because the rest of the foundation of the calls is going to be, this is the foundation for the rest of the calls. Okay, so now let's go into the first step of this book, and that is, number one, it all starts with your state of mind. Okay, now here's the thing that we all know, I hope we all do, and that is everything starts with an idea. You want to write that down. Everything starts with an idea. Whatever it is that you want to bring into your life, whatever it is that you want to manifest, it all starts with an idea. What idea you come up with in your mind is going to be really important on the rest of the series of these steps, okay? So just hold that thought in mind right now, and that is everything starts with the state of mind. Now, for that to occur, your idea must have a couple of components. It must have precision. You must be persistent, and you must have a burning desire to obtain that idea, to bring that idea into fruition, to bring that idea into reality, okay? So here's the thing. The real money, the real riches, everything that has happened in life, anything that you look around, it has started all with an idea. Now, we have also been talking about this, and that is that your mind is an actual muscle. Okay, so when you have an idea in your mind, I want you to understand, if you haven't listened to the book or the call, if you didn't listen to the calls of the neuroscience calls, you want to go back to entrepreneurintelligence.com and listen to them. They're all uploaded there. But there is scientific. Oh, by the way, I also put up the videos of Joe Dispenza that I've been talking about also on my website. So if you go on the website, everything's on there, by the way. Anyhow, one of the things that Napoleon Hill discovered years ago, and now science has actually proven it, and that is that your brain is a muscle. And like every muscle in your body, it can change. Like every muscle in your body, it can maybe not grow physically, right, but it can actually grow as far as its connection. I just saw the movie Lucy. If you guys have not seen that movie, my gosh, I was like, I've been wanting to watch that movie for a while, and I finally went to the theater over the weekend and saw it. I just thought that was so relevant. It's like, that is so amazing, because you can actually, Hollywood actually brought it into the big screens on how powerful your brain really is. And here's the thing, and I include myself, we totally underestimate ourselves so much on the capacity that we have to make anything happen. Now, the movie's about somebody being able to use 100% of their brain, which I don't think anybody on this lifetime has actually had happen, right? We don't even use, I think it's like 10% or something crazy like that. And even with that limited amount that we use, look around and look at everything that people have done. And I really encourage you, if you haven't seen the movie or you're not going to see it, just look around. Look, next time you're driving, get present to how somebody, literally, a brain, an idea that somebody had and they didn't give up, now has you having the opportunity of driving a vehicle to be able to get to point A to point B. Think about the plane. I mean, I can go on and on and on. If you were to take a moment and look around and really, really, really get present to the magic that's around you, to the miracles that are around you. I'm not talking about God's miracles like Mother Nature. I'm talking about man miracles, the cars, the planes, that all the technology, the phone. Look at this. Right now that we have, I don't know how many people we have on the call right now, and I'm sitting here in Santa Fe Springs. I don't know where you're at, but yet we're all connected. I mean, it is just amazing what can happen when somebody has an idea. Now, what happens when we have an idea is that you start connecting different neural paths in your brain. And the more you strengthen that idea, the more those patterns and those brain patterns get strengthened as well, and the more it becomes real. So, stress that enough. When I was listening to because I have the Audible, and I've been listening to it quite a couple of times a week now, but because I've heard it, throughout my move, I was constantly listening to it in the background. But when I actually sat down and took notes on the Audible, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you know what? I never thought about that. It is absolutely true how somebody's idea, and they become obsessed with it. It totally becomes a reality. And for those of you who are out to make a difference in the world, how somebody's idea and becoming an obsession with it and never giving up and having persistence with it has benefited everybody around the world. I mean, think about the White brothers. What if they had given up on the idea of having a plane? How many of us would not be benefiting? I mean, just think about this. Think about, for those of you who really want to make a difference in the world and make a difference in your life and make a difference in your family, think about this. And this is something that I have to face, because when I was listening to this, I'm like, oh, my God, I never thought about this. And that is, how many people are missing out on things, opportunities, or experiences, all because we have given up on an idea? Just think about that. What if the White brothers had given up on the idea of a plane? How many of us would have been impacted? Now, you could sit here and say, well, somebody else would have done it. Well, maybe. I don't know. We don't know that, right? But here's the thing. How many things don't exist today? How many things are not a reality today, all because somebody gave up on their idea? And that really, if you take that to heart, it's very impactful. Because if you think about, for us in our business, how many people are not enjoying a healthy, active lifestyle, all because we're too shy to say, hey, may I please give you my business card? How many people are missing out on an extra $200-300 a month, all because we're too shy to give them that opportunity? And when I was reading this or listening to this, writing this down, I'm like, man, it hurts my stomach just to even think about it, okay? So here's the thing I want you to get, okay? And that is really anything that you want, anything that you can imagine, you can have a reality. You can have it turn into a reality. Now, I know a lot of us, and I include myself, sometimes we have an idea and then we think, gosh, I don't know how I'm going to have that. I don't know how to bring that into fruition. Can I really have that? Here's the thing that scientifically it has been proven, and that is anything that you can imagine, And anything that you desire, you have the capacity to achieve. If you can even imagine it, you can do it. Because if you, deep inside, at your core, at your spiritual level, okay, to get all, well, it doesn't matter. You guys, here's the thing. I totally believe that we're like this meat, but we have a spirit inside of us, right? We just, the spirit needs a body to occupy it here in the world. So if your spirit desires it, it's because it knows it can have it. See, there are things that you don't know that you want because you don't want them, because you don't even know about them. Therefore, you won't achieve them. You won't have them because you don't even desire them. You don't even know that they exist, let's say. But if for some, anything that you feel like you can have, I'm telling you right now, any idea you have in mind, your spirit wouldn't come up with it unless it knew that it could have it, unless it knew that it could achieve it. So I really want you to really, really come into in touch with that, okay? And just trust yourself and God and your spirit and the holy being and the universe that that is the truth. You would not desire it if you didn't at your core know that you can have it, okay? For example, I don't desire to fly because at my core, I really don't believe I can. But if all of a sudden, when I was doing, when I was getting to president's team, the moment I had that desire, it was because I knew that I could achieve it. Now it's just a matter of putting the steps into it. So let's go into those steps. So here's the thing you want to do, okay? There's two steps towards success. You want to always keep this in mind. When you're reading this book, I'm going to give you the 2 steps to success that must be in play. Number 1, you've got to take notes. Whether it's on the call or the book or the audiobook, you've got to take notes when you're listening to this book. You get ready to press pause and play over and over again because it is going to be a book that is it's literally a workbook is what I would like to call it. And number 2, you've got to do this for you. So many times, and I'm guilty of this, so many times we listen to things for others. So many times we listen to things to share. But this is a book, yes, you can share it, but it will not be sustainable. This is a book that you must listen to and you must take notes on. Okay, so those are the 2 keys to success for this book. All right, so now let's go into the 13 steps of the book. Okay, now, number 1, and this one is perhaps the most important one, and that is desire. Number 1, and that is desire. Okay, now, like I said, so many times you think of a desire that you have, whatever it is. Let's just say your desire is to get to the next level. You want to get your world team. You want to get to Get Team by Extravaganza. I'm going to use that as an example because I think it might be the most common denominator on the call, okay? You're a Get Team. You want to get to Mil Team. Sorry, hold on a second. You're a world team and you have the desire to Get Team by Extravaganza. You are a Get Team and you have the desire to get to Mil Team by Extravaganza. You're a Mil Team. You have the desire to get to Press Team by Extravaganza. Now, here's the thing. You might start thinking, yeah, Carla, I do have that desire. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I do have that desire, but honestly, I really wonder, can I do it? I sometimes doubt myself. I sometimes don't have that belief. And I know we all, at some moment in our life, sometimes, okay, have those flash of thoughts. But here's the thing. Again, you got to get nothing exists by coincidence. Nothing that you have achieved or that anybody for that matter has achieved in the world has been by coincidence. The car you're driving, the plane, the technology, nothing just boom, popped out. Nothing. It all started with somebody's desire. It all started with somebody having that burning desire of achieving it or having it become a reality. So guess what? They are no different. They're not more special than you. You are not any different than all those people. And I include myself. And listen, I'm going to tell you there's a lot of things in my life that I have a big question mark on. This is something that I have to also go to work on. Because the truth is, as human beings, we want, as I had mentioned in many of the calls, our fundamental what do you want to call it? I don't know how, I can't think right now, but it's for us to be in survival. Our brain is designed to keep us alive. So anytime it even detects any type of change, it's going to fire off precautions because it's going into an unknown. And, your brain's like, well, why even go there? We're cool where we're at. So you've got to get that, again, none of that is real. It is all in your mind. But the mind doesn't know the difference between a real lion coming to you or you going to somebody to give them a business card. It just detects danger, right? The danger of getting eaten by the lion, or the danger of somebody saying no and having you be rejected, or the danger of you feeling not enough and then, boom, bringing up all those childhood memories. I mean, all of it to the brain is the same. It doesn't know if that person or that lion, all it knows it's danger. So one of the things you've got to get is that your brain is going to want to hold you safe. And that audio that we did a couple of weeks ago, the calls that we did a couple of weeks ago on the neuroscience, you have got to get that the moment you break through that, that's why it's called a breakthrough, the moment you break through that, you now connect new neural paths in your brain, and the more you do it, the stronger they become, and the easier it becomes, and then that is your new reality. Just think about the time when you didn't want to go up and share your story. You're like, oh, my God, no, because you thought whatever the fear that you had at that moment was real. But then you went up there and you shared your story and you walked off the stage like a whole different animal. Then guess what? The next time you did the H1, you still felt those butterflies, but it was less and then less and less and less and less. And now we can't get you off the stage. Now we can't get you to be quiet. Now we're like, all right, dude, enough. Get off the stage. But at the beginning, it was like pushing you on. Now we got to pull you off, because those new neural paths in your brain are so strong and so well wired that now it becomes automatic. Now it becomes second nature. Now there's no, maybe there is a little fear, but it's like nothing compared to how it was. So you've got to get that your new desires will be the same. At the beginning, they will be scary, and then it'll get easier. But you got to keep going through it, having those breakthroughs to allowing your brain to have those neural paths. Those new neural paths get stronger, okay? So, again, it wouldn't exist if you didn't, those ideas in your mind and the desire would not exist if you did not think that they were possible for you to have them. Now, here's the thing I want you to get. As you start creating new ideas, as you start creating the new burning desires, they will change. Okay, because we have this little pilot in our brain, and this pilot, this navigation system in our brain, actually directs us in different directions according to how you personally evolve. Now, if you think about before you started the business, who you were, I bet, is not the same person that you are today. What you think is possible, what you feel you can achieve, what you believe that you can have, I would hope, are completely different than before you started the business. Why? Because you've been personally developing yourself. And that's what personal development is all about, is developing the self within you so that you can grow as an individual, and the more that you grow, the more you see as possible. The more you see as possible, the bigger the world gets. And all of a sudden, you guys, I mean, I don't want to say nothing is impossible, right? But like nothing is impossible in your world. You know, I got to tell you, the other day, there's a place here in Los Angeles, there's kind of like a Beverly Hills of near Pasadena. It's called San Marino. And these houses are just gorgeous. I mean, they're just beautiful. They're very, very, it's a very hidden area, and not a lot of people know about it, right? And a long time ago, I was driving by there, and the person I was with, I was like, oh, my God, what is this? Is this Los Angeles? I've never seen this place. They're like, no, it's San Marino. And I'm like, oh, my God, these houses are gorgeous. I want to live here. And I just said it like I want to get a popsicle, right? Like, I want to live here. And this person looked at me, and they kind of laughed, right? And they're like, Carla, these homes are like $4 million. And you guys, I swear to you, not in the moment did I think, oh, man, did my balloon, lose its air? Like, oh, I can't ever have that. No. Like, to me, really, if I really wanted it, I know that I could have it. Now the question is, what do I have to do to get it, right? The amount of money, how much I have to work, how much I have to save, how much I have to put down. There's a process. But here's the thing. Some people see that because they have not been personally developed. They see that and they think it's impossible. Why? Because they have not been personally developing themselves. So that little pilot in your brain will start directing you. So here's the thing I'm going to challenge you for the rest of the week, and that is this. Number one, here's your homework, okay? Write this down if you haven't If you're not writing, please write this down. That is number one. Start determining what is the desire that you want to build to have in your life this month of October. Okay, good. And I'm going to challenge all of us to do something together as a team, as a unit, okay? And that is number one, what is a desire that you want to achieve? And you got to think of it as a desire is like a portrait, okay? Start visualizing like a portrait, like a picture. What does it look like, okay? And then we're going to bring it into reality. Because here's the thing. If you don't have desire, you don't have that passion for life. Look, there's been times in my life, I will confess that I was like, I don't want to say depressed, but I had no passion, no motivation to do anything. Guess why? Now I know, because I had no desire for anything. It is the desire that gives you life to every day. So number one, start building your desire as a portrait. And I love this quote that says, you destroy your desire, you destroy your mind. I was like, ouch, okay? So, again, if you don't have desire, you have no passion, you have no action, you have no motivation. So now, here's my challenge for you. So number one, that's going to be your homework, okay? If you want to know, and here's the thing, if you want to know if that desire is really what you want, start noticing how you feel when you think about it. Start noticing, do you want to, like, take action? Does it give you that, like, oh, kind of feeling inside of you, right? But if not, then you know what? Then maybe that's not really what you desire. Because sometimes, you guys, we desire things that we think we should desire. Totally different than what you really want to desire. Versus, for example, like, you know, like I like the Bentleys, and they're beautiful, and I think I should desire one, but they're not. I don't have that burning desire for one, not right now. Maybe in the future, my navigation will switch, and then I'll have that burning desire for the white Bentley convertible, right? But there's things in your life that you just like, so that gut feeling, okay? So when you find it, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be 6 steps that we're going to take for the rest of the week. Number one, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start creating a ritual every single day, and I want to challenge all of us to do it together. And here it is. You want to start doing this every morning and every night, okay? So here we go. Number one, we're going to talk about money just so that it can be like a common denominator, but you can change this to whatever you want, okay? So number one is determine the quantity of money you want to possess. Okay, so if it's money, or it could be, you know, getting to Get Team by Extravaganza, whatever it is, okay? So number one, determine, and you got to be, like, really precise, okay? So number one, determine the exact amount that you want to create, or the exact goal you want to have. Number two, determine what you will do to get that money, to get that next level, to get that goal, whatever it is. Okay, so number one, determine exactly what you want. Number two, determine what you will do to get that exact thing. Number three, establish a date by when you will achieve it. Number four, plan a definite plan. Plan a definite plan. Like you got to have it be definite. You got to plan it. You got to be definite, okay? And you got to start. You know, whether you're ready or not, you guys have got to, you know, here's the thing. You guys cannot wait for all the stars to line up. They will never line up perfectly. You get to action, and all of a sudden they will line up for you, okay? So number one, number one, the exact goal, exact amount of money, exact thing that you want. Number two, determine what you will do to get that thing that you're saying on number one. Number three, establish the date. Number four, plan a definite plan. And start no matter where you're at. And number five, write, and here's the most important part, put a big star next to this one, write down a statement covering the 4 things. So, for example, it could be like, you know, I, Carla, you know, desire, you know, to make $10,000. Let me see here. Let me just do something still. Okay, $10,000 by creating a personal services to creating people in a healthier level, and I will do this by December 31st. Plan, definite plan, and I will, you know, reach out to 10 people a day every single day. Okay, so or it could be like, I, Carla, you know, a desire to get Team, and to determine what I will do to get it, and I will, you know, have I will attend 2 HOMs and have guests at the HOMs and, you know, to assist to all the trainings. You get real specific on what it is that you're going to create, providing personal services for the Herbalife. And I will do this by Extravaganza 2015. And my plan will be, contact 10 people every single day, take 5 guests at every HOM, and 5 guests at every event for the next 12 months, or however many months it is, like 10 months, okay? You get the picture, okay? Put some work into this, but you've got to create a statement. And number 6, you've got to read it out loud every single day from the moment you wake up and before you go to bed. And here's the thing, just to wrap up, I have 1 more minute. Here's the thing I want you guys to do. So number 1, determine what you want. Number 2, determine what you will do to get it. Number 3, establish the date. Number 4, plan a definite plan. Number 5, write down the statement and put it on an index card, okay? And have that index card, I would recommend for all of us to have it next to our bed and read it every morning the moment we wake up and before we go to bed. And here's the thing, the last step, and that is when you are reading it, you guys don't just read it like nonchalant. Read it and visualize yourself having it. Visualize yourself like possessing it, because there is a mystery, in life that says that there's a chemical that happens in your brain. If you go on to Entrepreneur Intelligence and go back and listen to the neuroscience audios and watch the videos if you don't know what I'm talking about, but there is a mystery that science has, kind of quantum physics has kind of proven. They don't understand exactly how it works, but they know that it works. There's a higher being, a higher connection that allows you to manifest those things that your brain feels that it already has. And it has to bring it into reality. It has to. So here's my challenge to wrap up the call. I want to challenge all of us to do this every single day. I started doing it last night. I will confess, as I was visualizing it, I fell asleep. So I got to, kind of do it like sitting up and reading it, and like, before I go to bed, like sit on my bed and really read it and visualize it sitting up, because I ended up falling asleep, okay, which is probably a good thing because my brain was, going to work on it, but I think it'd be more effective if we're actually present. So my challenge to you guys is to take this on every single day for the rest of the month, and let's get on the calls, 5 minutes before 9 every week, and let's share how it's going to get each other motivated to really bring this into our ritual of every single day. So I'm gonna close the recording. So hang on before I open the lines. 1 second, please.